What's going on, everyone? Josh here. So glad to be with you today. Today, I'm excited to talk to you a little bit about preparing for your technical interviews. Now, this is a super scary subject that a lot of us deal with. And so I wanted to chat a little bit with you today about how I would best prepare for that and kind of get ready to handle that subject. I remember being so nervous in my first technical interview. I learned Python and I was learning JavaScript then. And in my first technical interview, I had to do something where I had to loop through a bunch of stuff. And I remember having to figure out that I wrote this for loop, and in this for loop, I realized I could not write. It was not working. My code was not working. So I was like, what's going on, right? And so I'm trying to write it out, trying to write it, and finally my time runs out. They're like, well, thanks for your time and stuff like that. I take it out of their coding interview, I take it back to and I run it on this online process, and I'm realizing oh my gosh, um, you know, I wrote my for loop in JavaScript when I should have been writing it in Python, which is why my code never worked. And so I realized that my brain was all jacked up, and technical interviews are so scary. So that's what we're talking about today. I hope this is going to be helpful to you guys. If you're here with us in the chat, let us know. Say what's up. I'm here to answer your questions too, so feel free to do that. Also had some audio problems last time. I'm hoping those are fixed. But for the rest of you guys, super psyched to be here. All right. So let's go ahead and chat through what we're talking about today. I'm going to show you and give you a bunch of resources, okay? So if that's something that you're psyched about, then you're in the right spot. But before we jump onto any of that, of course, I want to tell you about our website, techology.co. If you're looking for the best places to apply for junior dev or remote jobs, make sure you fill out here, put your email address in. Plus, that puts you on our email list and lets you know anytime we're going live and what that whole thing means, okay? Also, some of you guys didn't hear some of the new stuff that we just launched, and I'm so excited about. If you head to techology.co/resume, we're going to walk you through our newest resume builder. We partnered with someone to build amazing resumes. It's going to land you jobs in companies like Airbnb, Google, Microsoft, Spotify, Quora. These are companies that have actually gotten jobs using our resume builder, and I'm super psyched about that. Check out all the things that it does. Import your stuff from LinkedIn. It's amazing, and it's all for free. You can do one free resume through the resume builder. All you got to do is click create a free account. That's going to take you to our resume builder. Your resume builder is going to look something like this. And you get to also, what I love is it comes with this resume score. And you get to up over here on the side right here. You see how it says update job description? You get to actually put in your job description here. And it actually is going to put your resume and check to see if your resume matches the job description, get you past some of those ATS systems. So hopefully that's good for you. All right, but that's enough about resumes. If you want to actually hear, you're here to learn about technical interviews. If you're not making it to the technical stage, it's because your resume is jacked up, and you really need to work on that. That's why we put this together. Techology.resi.io, you can get there, or head to tech-ology.co/resume, and that'll take you to where we are. There should be some links in the description too. Hopefully that's helpful to some of you guys. If not, I'll make sure to add them after the fact. But first and foremost, where do we start when we're talking about technical interviews? And the first place we start is this book. This book has been recommended 100 billion times, and the reason is because it lays an amazing foundation for you to literally learn some of these different things that we're talking about. And so, I'm not much of a book person. I've never read this book because for me, books are, I'm not that. If you're a book person, just let us know in the chat. Say, hey, I'm a book person. And that'd be awesome to know how many of you actually read programming books, but I can't get behind them. They're so hard to stay awake on. I'm usually reading it early in the morning or late at night. Are any of you guys with me? If you're with me, say I'm with you in the chat. But if not, just want to say, yeah, that's kind of where that stands. But this is the book that you need. Let's take a look inside real fast. I should have clicked on one of the chapters. Let's take a look at Surprise Me. So this is what it kind of looks like, right? It's going to show you all these things, and it's talking to you about hash sets and what the heck that means, what the solutions are to so many of these questions. And yeah, so that's a little bit about that. Cracking the coding interview, super amazing. Also, the Gail has her own YouTube series that she's actually done on YouTube, talking about some of the most popular kind of algorithms that you should memorize for your coding, your technical interview. So let's talk about some of the places that I recommend where you start practicing. First and foremost, here's where I got my practice. This is called Code Wars. This is recommended to me by a friend. And on here, I'll randomly jump on here and knock out different coding interviews. You see, they actually are good. They're actually, I'll show you how it works in just a second. But basically, depending on whatever kind of programming language you're used to, you can actually code technical interview questions in this. So on here. So you're going to train. They have easier questions. They're going to filter to harder. So I'm going to show you a real life question, right? So I would solve this in front of you, but this would take me an embarrassing amount of time to solve in front of you, and so yeah. But I'll show you some of the ideas. So basically, it gives you some kind of instructions, and then it talks about. So this one's called Jaden casing. I don't know what that means, but basically it's going to capitalize the first letter of every string, right? And so this is something that you would actually you would type in here. You're like, all right, well, string prototype. What where do we want to write this in? Well, I want it in JavaScript. Great. String.prototype to Jaden case. All right. So the function we're actually going to need we're going to need a string, right? And that's what's coming in. Sorry, I'm thinking typecasing. So this is going to be string to be updated, right, or something like that. We want to name this something great, and then you're going to start typing in, for, and then you see, so it has a little bit of for, I equals 0, blah blah, and you're going to go through, and so you can see it kind of highlights your coding for you, and then it's actually going to give you a test, and it's gonna give you a variable, and it's gonna apply this variable to the name of your function, and then this needs to be the output, and if it matches, great, and then it's going to tell you. The cool part is once you see how many people have solved this, and then you get to see some issues if there was any. But the cool part is once you actually solve this, you get to see if your solution was actually the best solution. So that's a great way to get started easy. If you just know for loops, if you just know the basics, this is something that you would do once a day, every day, and you're going to actually grow and grow and grow. And randomly, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like I just did this like on Code Wars. And so it's kind of a cool place to be and to learn. And there's no stakes. Another resource that I love is called Interview Cake. Now, Interview Cake is a place that literally is going to teach you how to walk through interviews. Now, here's why I love it. So, you can have some things. This is specifically like for your first coding interview. This is like taking you from 0 to hero. You just graduated boot camp. You know how to code, but you're not good at algorithms. I love Interview Cake. And so you can check out the glossary. You're like, okay, so what's hashing, right? And we're going to take a look at that. And it's going to tell you about what that is, how to do that, or we're going to take a look at hash tables. That's what I was looking for, actually. I don't know why I thought about hashing, but it talks to you about object notation, like how fast things are, how fast your algorithm is going to execute on. Oh my gosh, I couldn't think of the word. And so things like this are important, right? Like you're going to say, well, when you're interviewing, they're going to give you an algorithm problem, and you're going to say, well, yeah, I can do it this way, and it's going to take O of n time, or this will take O of n squared time. And if that makes no sense to you, that's okay. That's what this place is for. And the cool part is it has a full course, and you can actually buy the full course. It's not super expensive. I think they're actually doing a COVID thing. And so basically 6 months of access is $90. A year of access is $160. It's a great place to learn. Or just 3 weeks of access, you're going to really cram for the next 3 weeks, $30. So not too crazy. And they give you money back guarantees. That's kind of cool. Now, Interview Cake is one of my favorites for sure. It starts at 0 to hero. One I just heard about was this one. It's called Algo Expert, and algorithms are, that's what an interview is, right? Generally, they're going to give you a problem. You need to know how to solve it. What's the fastest way to solve it? So I'll use algoexpert.io. I like this one because this one has a bunch of video explanations, right? And so if we look at some of these sample videos, this is a 48-minute video to walk you through how to run through this. You can't hear the audio that I'm playing right now, but as we go through, he's literally showing you the different things. It's a video tutorial. This sits well for me. I'm not sure if some of you guys are visual learners like me, but I definitely am. And I think this is a great way for you to kind of see what he's talking about. And once again, this also starts from 0 to hero. Comes with data structures, 100 handpicked questions. You can code in 9 languages, including JavaScript, Python, Java. And so if you're an Apex developer, you can kind of, you can get away with using Java. It comes with its own code execution environment, and also comes with some mock coding interviews. So it lets you pair up with other people, do mock coding interviews. So that's kind of a rad piece to this. I remember that also if we were to buy this, it's not super expensive. What we're looking at is about $100 for a year's worth of access. They also have Systems Expert, which is more for a system. Like if they ask you, how, if your job has to do more with, whoa, go away. Sorry, that's a plugin on the side there. But anyways, the point is this is great. I love this because this has video explanations. It lets you practice. You can see what you're doing. That's an awesome place. Now, if you're looking to level up your coding and interview skills, CoderByte is another place that you can go to that has challenges and has interview kits that are supposed to mimic what you can get at some of these top companies here. And so this is awesome. It has over 300 challenges and blah, blah, blah. And it's kind of the same thing. But this has a monthly subscription of $35 a month. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. And that's a great way to do that. Now, you're broke. You don't have money. Where do you start? I started and I learned a lot of interviews, a lot of algorithm stuff from YouTube. So you can actually, like, if you're looking for Google interview, things like that, you can actually see that, if you click in some of these videos, these are actually algorithms that people would use in a Google kind of interview, and you can see what people have been learning, and that's a rad place to be, and it's kind of rad to see. I don't know why it's taking so long. It's rad to see, what other people would do. By the way, like they're literally coding in a Google Doc. If you're actually interviewing for Google, that's where they will test you, in a Google Doc. So there's no code completion, none of that stuff. I had some buddies that have gone through that, and that's a interesting way to code. And so if you want to practice for Google, these are some great things to watch. You can watch, anything, right? Netflix interview questions, right? So, and you're gonna 7 most asked interview questions at Netflix. I mean, this is literally what I do when I'm looking for technical interview stuff. All right. Here's another resource for you. It's called Pramp. And this is a great place because you can actually sign up for live, like on the spot technical interviews, which I thought were super rad. So you can actually, like, this is a great way. Check out their demo interview to see what it's like, but it's video chat inside of a code editor. And basically it's, it's a basic code editor, gives you a problem on the side here, and you can do that. You can actually buy a couple of there's a couple of interviews from some, like, people that are legit working at some of these companies that you might be interested in: Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Microsoft, like some of these places. And so you get to see, these are some of the people, software engineer at Facebook. And so you can kind of book a session with them. They'll run you through these, and they're going to give you tips. And it's a mock sort of interview. So that's a great place to start. I think this is rad. One of my favorite things, though, is that you can actually sign up for a free course. And if you have a buddy that will run you through some mock interviews, then you can do that as well. In my coaching package, side note, when I'm coaching students, I actually do mock interviews with them, and sometimes we'll use Pramp to do that, and it's a rad space to do that. So if you're looking for coaching on how to land your first job, you can also hit me up. I'd love to chat with you about that. Chat with me about that on LinkedIn. It's kind of a one-on-one thing right now, but I'm building packages around that. So it's a great time to get in. I'm not charging full prices yet, and yeah, so just that's enough about that. But this is a great place to kind of sign on. If you have people that are already doing software engineering and you want a place for them to kind of, give you code and uh, give you some of these technical interview question like practices, this is a great place to do that. I now want to show you. Oh, whoops! Let me back out of here. These are my two favorite resources. So you stuck around to the end. You're now finding my two favorite resources. How the heck do you do these practice interviews? And what I want to show you is, can I go here? Okay, great. One of my favorite places to go is FreeCodeCamp.com. Now they have all the stuff that they're going to teach you, but if you scroll all the way down here, they have coding interview prep, right? And so what you're going to do is this talks to you about bubble sort, insertion sort, quick sort. It talks to you about data structures, all this stuff. And it also gives you some take-home projects. Build a Wikipedia viewer. These are ideas that if someone was to say, "Hey, we're not doing a live coding interview. We're actually going to do a take-home project. We want you to do this at home." These are some amazing ways to get some of those practices in, and all this is 100% free. FreeCodeCamp.org. You can sign up for an account. I already have a profile here. I love this place. This is great. And the number one place to go for your mock interviews and learning is this place here. It's called LeakCode. All right. So this is what I love. So LeakCode is number one place. It's always recommended, and the reason why is because LeakCode has real problems from real companies. I'm going to click on mock for a second. So if you wanted to take a Google online assessment, you'd have to sign up for their premium package. I'll talk to you about that in a second. Or their phone interviews or their on-site interviews. It shows you the success rate, how many times it's been attempted. Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, Bloomberg, Adobe, Apple, Uber. These are some of the companies that they have real interview questions from their engineers, and you can practice them right now. How amazing would it be for you to step into an interview, already have the question memorized, like you already know, and you're like, oh, okay, I know what I'm going to do here. And so you've already solved this problem at home. That's the beauty of LeakCode. Now, LeakCode also has, if I hit explore, they also teach you. It's not just practicing these high-end questions. If you want to get started, they have these like 101s. So if you go to the learn section, they have 101s, right? And so all you're going to do is you're going to go through each of these chapters here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through the introduction. And then I'm like, great, okay. And then I'm going to go through the checklist, find numbers with an even number of digits, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to look, hey, if we go, count off even numbers, right? Or count of even numbers. This is in JavaScript. I think I wrote this. I'm going through, I want to know how long is if I break the number, it's a string, right? So things are coming in as a string. In an array, and so I want to break down each character, find out how long it is, whatever. I don't need to explain this to you, but the point is it's just like some of the other ones we've been talking through. This is all free functionality, but if you wanted to jump to some of their career stuff where they're actually showing you legit Google interview questions or Microsoft interview questions, you want to go for one of these kind of jobs, one of these places. Maybe you're thinking about doing an internship this upcoming summer, and you want to know what that's going to look like. Well, then this is a great place to start. Or my favorite, Easy Collection Top Interview Questions, and this is the number one interview questions that they're going to ask you. Cool. They have contests every month, and I want to show you their premium pricing. It's $35 a month, or it's $150 a year. So that's pretty rad. for this. I know it's a bit expensive, but the trade-off is you're getting legit and real interview questions. So hopefully that was good for you, and hopefully this has been helpful. Um, uh, if you have any questions in the chat, I'd love to answer any questions. But as far as I'm sorry, I'm just looking for something to put up here. If There we go. Ask your job questions in chat. All right. So, if you're looking for something to really, if you're looking for something where, you're looking to prep for a technical interview, if you have any questions about that, please let me know. Write that in the chat for me. I'd love to kind of answer that for you. But, for the rest of you guys, I hope this has been helpful, and I hope that this is giving you a plethora of different things for you to go through. I gave you a bunch of free resources. I gave you some of my, premium ones, LeakCode being, the recommended kind of in the standard in the, in the industry. This is kind of what people will recommend to you. You need to be able to do a bunch of LeakCode questions before you apply for Google, before you apply for Facebook, things like that. So if that's something that, hopefully that's been a little helpful for you. I want to show you, I want to, last but not least, if any of you guys have any questions, write them in the chat. But last but not least, if you have not, ooh, my bad. If you haven't gone to tech-ology.co/giveaway, you're missing out. We have about 7 days left where I'm going to do a free resume review for one of you guys. If you haven't done that, it's tech-ology.co/resume, and I'm going to really be slash giveaway, excuse me. I'm going to be really diving deep with one of you guys over your interview, over your resume, and so I think it's going to be a great time. So that's kind of it for today. That looks like there hasn't been any questions. If you're watching this after the fact, I'd love to interact with you. Drop your questions in the comments below, and I'll definitely be sure to write back to you. I'm going to be, watching this for a long time and responding to you, talking to you for a long time about this. So hopefully that's been a great collection of resources for you. I'm signing off for today. You guys have a great rest.